good to see you. First of all, does Old Trafford need knocking down and building again?
Absolutely not at all. There's one area of the ground where the roof leaks. There's this canopy that comes over the side of the pitch. It doesn't even go on the fans. The fans don't get wet. The whole thing is ridiculous. And basically, they're very jealous of the fact that Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they've all got these fantastic stadiums. And the whole thing is vanity, and why the taxpayer should pay for it, heaven alone knows. Not at all.
And Ratcliffe is a very rich man, isn't he, Chris? He's a billionaire. Isn't he probably Britain's richest man? And as I recall, he's a tax exile living somewhere like Monaco, so he's got plenty of money. He can rebuild it himself. You're absolutely spot on. You're spot on. He lives in Monaco. He's a tax exile. So he's asking people who pay their taxes to pay for his stadium. I mean, truly, it's quite shocking. And why on earth? OK, look, Manchester United is a very big football club. It's the world's biggest in terms of fans. But honestly, there are other football clubs in the north. Does the north need a Wembley-type stadium? Arguably not. The whole thing is crazy. What it shows, actually, is that Jim Ratcliffe might be the richest man. He hasn't got much spare cash. And building a stadium these days costs a fortune. The other worry for the fans is that Old Trafford is where their history is. There's the Alex Ferguson stand, there's the Bobby Charlton stand, where all the famous matches were. And here comes a guy who says, along comes a guy who says, I love this club. I love it so much, I'm going to knock the stadium down and build a new one. I mean, and by the way, the taxpayer's paying for it because I'm not going to. I mean, honestly, it makes your blood boil, Andrew. Mine's foaming over.
Chris, I'm born and bred in a family of Man United fans. You know, my dad will be watching.
For you.
But my dad will be watching this today. And maybe you could argue, well, hang on a minute, as you say, it's the biggest club in the world. I don't know what the capacity is of Old Trafford. I should know that. But maybe if they could double the capacity of Old Trafford, it would be great for the area, great for that area of Salford and that area of North Manchester.
Yeah, the capacity of Old Trafford at the moment is 74,000. Wembley is 90,000. The argument is that you'll have a Wembley in the north and you'll be able to play England matches in the north. Well, they already happen. Yeah, but they already happen in the north, and then they move them around. They sometimes play at Old Trafford, they sometimes play at Manchester City, at the Emirates, at the Etihad. Or they go to St James's Park in Newcastle. And regardless of what your family think, and I adore your family, but, you know, Manchester is not the centre of the universe. It is not the capital of the... It's the self-proclaimed capital of the north. But it's not, you know, there are other northern cities.
Hang on, Chris Blackhurst.
Newcastle.
As a proud Mancunian girl, as a fan of the biggest football club in the world.
My wife's from Manchester. My wife's from Alderley Edge. And,
that's posh Manchester. Listen, but maybe there is an argument that maybe if you could build a stadium that seated 150,000 fans, they could get those in every weekend. Great for the local economy, the hotels, the restaurants. You could then put Beyonce could come and play in there, and
well, that's fine.
Music acts.
Look, I've got no problem with that. If Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers want to build a stadium for 150,000 fans, who are paying Manchester United for their tickets, and the revenue goes to Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, that's fine, that's private enterprise. But why should the taxpayer build a stadium for £150,000 so they can line their pockets?
Yeah.